Well, here we are. Animal Farm 2026. This is without a doubt one of my least anticipated reviews to do. I really did not want to watch this movie, but obviously I had to. People were very interested to hear me talk about it. In 2023, I talked about the original two adaptations of the book Animal Farm by George Orwell, and at this point, absolutely zero criticisms I had of those movies hold up compared to how bad we ended up having it. I really did want to have an open mind about this film, but after the first trailer, it was over. This movie had been in development since fucking 2011, with Andy Serkis attached as director for majority of that time. That means a few possible things. 1. Serkis actually intended on making an accurate adaptation of the book, and studio interference ruined it and made it into a piece of dog shit. 2. Serkis had intended on making an accurate adaptation, and then within the last 15 years lost his fucking mind and made this. Or 3, the most terrifying one, this is what Serkis had wanted to make the whole time. Maybe it's a good thing studios dragged their feet with it. Originally, this movie was meant to be made using motion capture, which Serkis was known for, with his many performances over the years like Gollum, King Kong, Snoke, and Caesar the Ape. However, eventually they settled for CGI. The movie was distributed by Angel Studios, which I swear make animated films that look even worse than Illumination's films. Even the damn Minions are outdoing you nowadays. Their two prior animated releases are religious films. Come on guys, you really think that shitty model of Jesus looks good? You think he's letting you through the gates of heaven with that? I don't even know how they get all these big named actors attached. These guys really need a paycheck this bad? Whatever, let's watch this fucking movie anyway.
Aren't you going to fix my eye?
Oh my god, ReviewBot, what the hell happened to you?
It's a long story, but Professor, you said you would fix my eye.
We'll do it after the review. I'll just use the picture of you I always use. No one will even know.
Of course. I'm never a priority around here, am I?
Oh great, so now we know who to blame for this piece of shit. Thank you. Fuck me, this movie has more logos than the end of Evangelion.
Don't you dare mention Peak in the presence of this movie.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
Man, he was so greedy and cruel. I mean, he didn't even feed us no more. But what could we do? I don't know. I mean, I'm just a stupid old horse.
Yeah, to be in this movie, you'd have to be a pretty stupid horse.
Oh no, Boxer, E comes after D. Remember? A, B, C, D, E.
These animals seem relatively healthy looking for being supposedly malnourished and overworked.
There's no such thing as good or bad. Everything is chaos. Because life is meaningless.
Saying everything is meaningless in a movie based on an allegory is certainly a choice.
What does that say?
It says, Laughter House!
Laughter House? That sounds awesome.
Oh wow, Seth Rogen, I almost forgot. Let's see how long it takes for the laugh to happen.
I love to laugh.
And there it is. How much longer is this?
Dude, we're only 3.5 minutes in.
Yeah, that's how long I figured I would last.
Doesn't anybody else think this is just a teeny tiny bit suspicious?
What the fuck is this voice they gave to Snowball?
I guess that's why they call it a fairy story.
Actually, Snowball is female in this
Yeah, I know, ReviewBot, it was a joke.
Just clarifying so we don't have a ton of comments trying to correct us.
We're going on vacay, baby. Can I get a what?
Just as Orwell would have wanted.
Well, good morning, Farmer Jones. It's Mr. Whymper. You refuse to pay your mortgage, you refuse to sell, so we are seizing the farm and its odorous assets.
So I guess the animals don't rise up and take the farm over, but in fact Jones's property just gets seized. That's oddly way less exciting.
We're not going to a laughter house. It's a slaughterhouse.
We're all gonna die!
Just say the Joker did this pun before you did, and way better.
Stop bringing up good movies.
What's freedom again?
I think it's a kind of food.
Ooh, what does it taste like?
Like the most delicious slop you've ever had.
Very interesting word choice.
Yeah, kinda hit the nail on the head. You don't even need us to review it.
Our lives are miserable and short.
Now you're talking my language.
Humans lock us in cages, then take our milk and our eggs and our wool. Can join together and fight, and finally be free.
So the weirdest thing is that this is actually the longest Animal Farm film currently, yet it's also the most rushed. We don't even have Old Major being the one to incite the revolution.
There ain't no holding us back. We outside dressed in all black. It's going down like a lumberjack. Take a look around, ain't no needle in this haystack.
Can only hope whatever was used for Orwell's grave is very sturdy because it needs to withstand a lot of motion.
Beautiful dream coming true.
Oh, clever. The drone's called Moses instead of just putting the bird in the movie like you were supposed to.
Bye-bye, Farmer Jones. Hello to the last piece of land I don't own.
What, is it a small empty lot in a red light district in Tokyo? So the animation in this movie is pretty mediocre. You can obviously tell most of the budget went to the casting.
And none of it to the script.
Ooh, it's naughty juice.
I understand naughty juice is their G-rated term for alcohol, but in my mind that word choice honestly makes me think of something even more inappropriate.
Wow, this is crazy. I can see.
I feel like that should have ended far worse for him.
Far bloodier, that's for sure.
Who's naughty, huh?
You're naughty.
You can say that again.
You're naughty.
I didn't mean that literally.
You know, if this movie was at least funny, I may give it some credit, but no, it just has zero redeeming qualities. Seriously, what is the point of this OC pig character? At least in the 1999 film, while they turned Jessie the dog into a main character, she at least was a character that existed in the book. But then in this movie, they just make up this pig that apparently is just a genius and knows how to use the human technology perfectly. Why not kick his ass out of the farm? He's basically already at the point the pigs were at the end of the book. What is with these movies having the cow's orgasm when getting milked?
Yeah, that was exhausting.
You're so funny, Naples. Har, har, har.
Just stop. You already put it in once. God, who would want to listen to such an annoying laugh? Those guys must be weird.
Thank you, but it's supposed to be shared equally.
There is no supposed to anymore, okay? We're free. For example, I'm about to fart right now. This is the sound of freedom.
Just what George Orwell always wanted.
Why was that actually kind of funny?
It's hard to know what to do.
You worry too much, Lucky. Remember what I always say. Just look up at the stars. They take all our worries away.
Oh no, I'm 6 figures in debt. My wife left me and took the kids. I can't pay rent, and I work in the coal mines. But hey, just look at the stars and all my worries will go away.
Shouldn't be in here. We're breaking the rules.
I know, but believe me, Lucky. It's for the good of all the farm.
So it can't even be a windmill anymore. It has to be a goddamn water wheel. It's like they're changing stuff from the book for sport by now.
I mean, I don't know. A watermill? It just sounds pretty boring if you ask me. It does sound boring.
Oh, this movie thinks it has any authority to call stuff boring.
Wait, what?
Oh, what? Huh? Sorry, I must have dozed off while you were talking because you're so boring. Okay, let's decide. Who wants to listen to Snowball and build a watermill?
No,
So I think it's pretty obvious that Napoleon is meant to be satirizing a certain politician. I don't even need to say his name, you already know who. It's weird because ironically this dates the movie far more than the original story, which satirized Stalin. The criticism is so obvious because it's not original or new. South Park, Family Guy, SNL, basically everyone you can think of has done this satire to death at this point. This feels like it should have been made 7 or 8 years ago. So Snowball gets escorted out of the farm by the dogs. At least there's something from the book in here. Once again, I bring up how rushed this damn movie is. In the 1954 film, Snowball gets chased away by the dogs past the 35-minute mark. In the 1999 film, nearly an hour in. Yet here, Snowball leaves and Napoleon takes over only 26 minutes in. Why are they rushing so much?
Perhaps because they'd rather focus on their stupid-ass original story that's nowhere near as good as what Orwell wrote.
How many times are they going to put Seth Rogen's laugh in? We get it.
All animals are equal, very much so, you know? But, you know, ultimately, pigs kind of got to stick with pigs, you know?
So for some reason, this movie tries to put in some type of racial-related messaging, the dangers of pig supremacy, I guess. The problem is that pigs are meant to represent class, not race. If they wanted to change the story a bit, I guess that's one thing. But are they going to do anything with the concept that wasn't already handled with the allegory of class? It just feels tacked on.
Hello there, cows. Jeffrey Wimper. I'm here to discuss what you owe the bank. Oh, hey!
It was never explained how humans even know the animals can communicate. The older films at least attempted to try and explain how people figured this out, but in this movie, Wimper just shows up and hopes he can explain capital to fucking animals.
Well, my enterprising little porkers, you are so about to become my new best friends.
Wonder if she'll call him Mr. N.
E-M-C-2. Wish I wasn't so dumb.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. Going from the ABCs to the fucking theory of special relativity would make anyone feel dumb.
I've noticed that you like puff.
What?
Don't deny it. I've noticed.
I mean, I don't know.
That's just what this movie needs, a stupid-ass romance, too. How much longer is this?
Look at it, does that pig think he's human? What freak!
I don't know, it's not that funny.
Guys, what are we doing? They're in the cart and we're pulling pork?
We get it, okay? The sheep with the shaved eyes is the only wise one. How clever.
You just repainted it! What? No! How dare you!
It's a real shame Squealer was given the shaft in this movie. He doesn't do shit. He was so deliciously detestable in the first 2 adaptations. Yeah, this isn't even comparable to the reveal of him standing in the 99 film.
Oh sure, one little piglet was all they needed to push it up the hill.
You gave it to me on credit, which means all you give them is this little tiny card, and they give you cars!
Fantastic lesson for kids.
No kids watch this movie, Joe. It was a massive financial flop. I didn't pay for this movie either. The footage you're watching is coming from a copy of the film obtained through, external means. So you're all pirates too. No snitching now. You know what problem this movie has, other than like fucking everything? It doesn't do a good enough job showing how bad Animal Farm is for everyone who isn't a pig. No one's even gotten killed yet unless you assume they killed Snowball. Everyone just seems more mildly inconvenienced than suffering and starving. Just what Orwell would have wanted. Oh my god, just fucking kill me already. So now we're just ripping off the 1954 film. At least then there was the production code and shit that tied filmmakers' hands when it came to morals in movies, but not here. No excuse. I fucking hate the way Napoleon is written in this movie. In the book, he was power-hungry, ruthless, and cruel. Here, he's just a dumbass hedonist. Remember when he was actually a threatening villain?
I crushed my competitors so I can raise prices as much as I want.
I like a lady who crushes.
Where's old Teddy Roosevelt when you need him?
Notorious P.I.G.
Space Jam 2 already did that joke.
And that was a piece of shit too.
Our fearless leader. Our sexiest swine alive. The one.
Napopo? Really? Andy, you could have just not made this movie. It didn't make any money. It wasn't worth it. It was a net negative on the world. Now I need to suffer through this. Even if there was studio interference that led to it, there's still no excuse for how fucking terrible this movie is. So thanks, man. Maybe I ought to shove you into Mount Doom again. So the thing I really don't get about this movie is they clearly established that every single animal other than the unshaved sheep are questioning and doubting Napoleon and the pigs, and yet they just go along with it anyway. They're not even all that brainwashed, and the dogs are just not established to be as big of a threat as they were in the books, so why are they just going along with this?
Oh, you kill me, honey. Really, you're so fun.
Is that Napoleon flirting with a piglet? Has Napopo been taking a trip to a certain island? Wow, he's just like Jones. If only Jones was actually in this movie for more than 15 seconds. So finally we see the dogs doing shit.
Too little, too late.
You were a real jerk.
I was a huge jerk.
And an idiot.
A gigantic idiot.
You were arrogant, insensitive, inconsiderate.
Really, it just seems like he was as much a victim of the brainwashing as you supposedly were. Are you supposed to be smart?
With delusions of grandeur, bordering on narcissistic personality disorder?
No, when I think of narcissistic personality disorder, I think of having the audacity to take one of the most iconic books ever written and turning it into an utter piece of shit that absolutely no one could ever possibly like.
So let me hear it. All animals are equal.
Don't even bother anymore. Seriously, just don't bother. A big flood and a final battle between Napopo and Lucky. Just what Orwell. Fuck it.
Wait, what?
Wait, we lost Lucky.
See, when you establish earlier in the movie that this whole story is being told by him years later, you kind of take away any tension that he's dead because we know he's alive. Then they just redo the 99 film's ending. How creative. So that was Animal Farm, a cautionary tale, and it was awful. Honestly, it's really not that interesting to talk about. It makes so little of an attempt to actually adapt Orwell's book that it isn't even worth comparing and contrasting like we did with the first two movies. We would just be here all day. That's really the main issue here. There's just no surprises. Every single problem with this film was in the trailers. If you've seen the trailers, you can pretty much write an entire review of this movie and nail it. The movie wasn't funny. It was just a generic kids movie that just so happened to be associated with a great book. Fuck this movie.
I guess it goes to show how bad things can really get.
Poor naive 2023 me. God forbid I want a good adaptation of this book.
Thanks for watching, everyone.